Good mornings again. Okay, good mornings to everyone that's joined the YouTube call already. Please could you ask your peers to join as well? We'd really like for the numbers to pick up before we get kicked off. Thank you. Please let your peers and friends know that they need to join. Okay, numbers have picked up a bit, but please could you go ask your peers to please join the call. On the invitation, the YouTube link is there on the Google Calendar, so please, if you could get everyone to open there.
Hey, Corbin.
Hi, Herman, how are you?
Hi, all. Good, good. Apologies for being late. Some other meetings. Are we still waiting for some students to join on the YouTube side?
We are. So there's about 90 people on the call at the moment, but I think we probably should just give it about maybe 2 minutes or so.
Yeah. We can maybe wait until 10 past.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
Okay, fantastic.
I'm
We'll
just
get you
gonna
both.
mute so long.
Okay. So I see the numbers are about 100 right now. If you'll just please ask your peers to keep joining, and we can get about kicked off. Okay, so hi everyone, good mornings. We just wanted to have a chat, a short chat with Cohort 2024, just about some of the curriculum content and some things that you can expect from a performance perspective. But yeah, we'll just get straight kicked into it. Herman, would you like me to hand over to you?
Yes, thanks, Corbin.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know if you also want to do some other stuff from the student performance team. But yeah, otherwise I can just jump into the things I want to touch on. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't met many of you on campus yet. So I'm the CTO at We Think Code. There's some connection issues in Joburg. Hopefully this is recorded. You can watch this later as well. And one of my big responsibilities is to drive the curriculum development as well as the learning management system. And we are a group of people working on that, and we constantly aligning the curriculum with the industry needs. And I think, why I ask for this conversation is I was looking at this cohort, and I was looking at the work you've been doing and your progress through the curriculum. And I am slightly worried. So let's step back a bit. The reason you joined Weaving Code is ultimately for an amazing career opportunity. So software engineering is probably one of the most exciting jobs you can have out there. The kind of work we do, the remuneration that we can get once we land successful careers and jobs is way higher than average if you look at other jobs out there. So it's really a privilege to be able to study this at an organization like Weaving Code. And I just wanted to stress again that ultimately, when you at the end of the year, you've been working hard, you started in September, it's a massive learning curve. We're not going easy on you because we want you to learn and to learn as much as you possibly can in the time that you have with us in order to prepare you for really good job placement. So it isn't easy. And this time of year, energy is low. And it's good to be reminded that ultimately, yes, there's maybe a lot of other things, stipends, LMS issues. There's a lot of things we can use for excuses, but the ultimate responsibility of how you perform at Weaving Code lies with yourself. You have to put in the effort to see the success. And the success, the payoff when you graduate next year, December, is massive. It's worth putting in the time. It's worth applying your mind. It's worth not outsourcing to ChatGPT, but doing the work yourself and doing the learning yourself. And ultimately, you have to take control of this. It's up to you what can be done. We've seen students who've started their own businesses while they were still studying and now successful in that. We've seen students who started doing contract work while they're studying and now they're successful in that. I'm not saying you have to do the extra things. You must, if you just do the work at the course and do the best you can, not the minimum effort, but the best you can, you're going to get very, very far. And I just wanted to stress that it's ultimately your responsibility. Everything else is just an excuse. Bad Wi-Fi, stipends, LMS bug. Those are all transient things. Do not use that as your crutch or your excuse. Put in the work, put in the effort. Retry exercises that fails. The other thing, the second thing I want to touch on is programming is a team sport. We structure our campuses the way we do because we also want to encourage you working together. There are two sides of that. The one side is if you are struggling, reach out to your peers. And if you still get stuck, whether it's you're struggling with a particular topic, a piece of code, an exercise, and struggling to understand that, there are going to be some of your peers who grasp that for whatever reason. Maybe that particular topic they grasp faster than you, or there are tech mentors that we put in place. And then there's also the SP team. They're really a cool bunch, so you can really talk to them. So reach out if you're stuck. Sometimes, and I still struggle with that, we're a bit proud and we're a bit, you don't want to show you don't know something, and we rather keep quiet and we suffer in silence. That's the worst mistake you can make. It still happens with professionals. I see that a lot in teams. The earlier you can overcome that in your career, the better. That when you get stuck, reach out, ask help, talk to somebody. That's the one part of it being a team sport. The other side is if you actually you are grasping the topic, you are doing well, you're a bit ahead of the curve on a particular module, then also then help your peers. Be involved in that. One of the things that we encourage at We Think Code is developing technical leadership. You've seen the tech mentors that you work with. So next year, in the second year, that's your opportunity to also become tech mentors. And we also see those who are learning how to be technical leaders, and it starts with helping your peer. It starts with being proactive when it comes to group projects. Those students typically grow much faster in their actual careers once they get placed. Um, so there's value in developing that as a soft skill as well. So that's the second thing I wanted to touch on today. It's a social engagement. Work with each other. I'm not saying copy and paste each other's code. That's not what I mean. What I mean is when you get stuck, talk about it, figure it out together. Copy and pasting avoids learning. That is not something you should do. The ultimate game here is to learn and to learn how to learn. That's the best thing you can get from briefing code is figuring out how to learn. And that brings me to the third point I wanted to touch on today. ChatGPT and equivalent LLMs or generative AI. Yes, it's out there. It's a useful tool. And as developers, it can make us a lot more productive if used in the right way. We are working on a course that will actually help with this, hoping to roll it out to you as guinea pigs early next year, how to properly use it. However, it can be very detrimental to learning. If you use it in the wrong way, what's happening is you are not learning what you should. You're not internalizing it, and you're not going to become a software engineer. If you outsource your exercises to LLMs and then copy and paste the answer, and yes, we see that in the submissions, unfortunately, you're not learning anything in that exercise. And ultimately, you won't graduate. Keep that in mind, how you use ChatGPT. Use it to ask questions, use it to figure things out with you. Think of it as a conversation. Don't outsource your exercise to it and copy and paste the example. So we are going to start taking much more serious measures when we see LLM generated code. So be aware of that. But for me, that's not what it's about. For me, it's about you are here to learn. You are here to become the best coder you can possibly be. You won't become that if you outsource to LLMs. And learn the basics, learn the basic fundamentals now, and then the world is your oyster. You can build anything on top of that. So please avoid using the ChatGPTs of the world as a mechanism to complete your work. Early next year, as I said, we want to roll out a short course to this cohort as guinea pigs around how you can use AI to become a better developer and more productive. So the kind of right ways to use it. And so I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping you're all going to be there, still with us at We Think Code, to attend that. The fourth thing I want to do is encourage you to do the most number of code submissions you can possibly do. There's one of our curriculum authors, G. Paul. You might have seen him maybe or heard about him. He has this saying of many, many small steps. You don't have to build your solution for a particular exercise to be this perfect thing and only then you do a commit. As software developers, the best approach we can take is small submissions throughout the day, all the time. Do a small change. Even if it doesn't solve the bigger exercise or problem yet, but it's a step towards that. Do that change, test it, unit test preferably, but also run the application locally. Commit it to GitLab. Do the next small change, get it to run, get it the test to be green, commit to GitLab. You can do 1,000 of those commits a day if you want to. You're not being penalized for additional submissions at all. The more submits you get, the faster you're going to get the feedback from the grading system, if it's an automatically graded exercise, to Matrix and email, and you will see if there's still problems, and then you redo a commit. It's a much better approach than working on big pieces of code, and then at the end of the week you commit, and then nothing works. And then you under pressure to move on to the next exercise, so you forget about that. So you get a 0 on your score, and you for that exercise, and you move on to the next thing. And we're seeing that happening. So rather do small commits constantly. It's not going to cost you anything, and you're going to get much quicker feedback on what you're busy doing. And it's a good habit as a developer. When you join a team out there and working with others, small constant commits is a much better way of working as well. So keep that in mind. So those are the 4 kind of things I wanted to touch on today. It's really, you must take responsibility. It's your potential career that you're working on here. That responsibility doesn't lie with anybody else. That lies with you. The second thing is social nature of what you're doing. Reach out if you get stuck to your peers, to the SP team. And we're trying to establish the right groups on Matrix. If you have ideas there to better use Matrix to support what you're doing, please share that we can take that into account as we structure Matrix as well. The other part of social, help others. Use that to develop your own technical skills. I've learned the most over the years about topics when I had to explain it to somebody else, because you have to actually think about it more deeply. How am I going to explain this? And then in that, I many times actually come to realize things that I've been struggling with and how it fits together. Then ChatGPT, avoid it if you don't know how to use it for good. If you use it for copy and pasting answers, avoid it, because then you're not learning and you're going to most probably not graduate if that's the way you're currently approaching the work. And then lots and lots of submissions all the time. So remember those 4 things. And I think it's going to really have an impact on what you're doing and the work you're doing. This is towards the end of the year. As I said, energy is sometimes low. We're all a bit overwhelmed, massive learning curve, but there's a month left. Put in the best effort you can possibly do, and give us the feedback as well. Reach out, give us feedback, let us know where you're struggling, enable us to support you by sharing with us. So that's what I wanted to touch on. There's a saying that somebody in the curriculum author team posted yesterday by Professor Linda McNeil. Measurable outcomes may be the least significant results of learning. So yes, we are tracking progress. We are tracking your report, your problem rates, as we call them, for each exercise, and that goes into your report cards that you're receiving. However, that's not what this is about. Ultimately, you are briefing code so that December next year, you can graduate as a software engineer and land an exciting, high-earning job. That's what it's about, and that you're actually opening up a career pathway for your future. Remember, that's the end goal here. The end goal is not those report cards. Keep that in mind, because sometimes report cards discourage us and we feel a bit depressed about how we're doing. but just keep in mind where you're going and put in that effort. And then you're going to get there. That's about all I wanted to say. Corbin, over to you. I don't know if you
Okay,
want to
perfect.
maybe allow a few questions or how you want to.
Yeah, actually, I think we can maybe open up for some questions now. There are some performance points that we'd like to chat to y'all about, but I've been monitoring YouTube, but there haven't been any questions yet. But please, if anyone has a question, please do ask. Okay. Okay, we can probably come back to them as well. But yeah, we were just hoping to touch up on some performance points as well. When do we receive the report cards? You receive the report cards at the end of the semester. So you complete the semester, I believe, in Feb. So once you start your second semester in March, that's when you'll receive your first semester report card. So yeah. Okay, cool. As the questions keep moving on, I'll just refer to them and just touch up on some of the points. But yes, we also just wanted to have a little talk with y'all from a performance perspective and what we just like to expect from y'all going forward. So the first thing is attendance. So we are quite aware that some of you have started receiving your stipends, and we would just like to end the year on a strong note, and we would just really like y'all to come to campus. We'd really just like to pick up the attendance numbers. If you still have difficulties with attendance or transport or stipend issues, we expect you to communicate this with campus team, and just so that we can make proper arrangements or to see what we can do. But that's the first point I wanted to touch on, attendance. I think I will come back to some of the questions. Okay, cool. But they're all very similar actually. I think you'd be interested in these. Okay, so you will all be receiving your report cards in March, once the first semester ends. So you get them every semester. Okay. Okay, then the question is, so how will we be able to track our own performance? How would you like? How would kindly like if we'll get holidays this December? You are likely to get a holiday this December. Y'all are all going to be here for just about 3 more weeks, I believe, and then everyone's going to go on a break. Um, is there a way for us to track? Is there any way to track your hours on campus when you sign in? That's when we'll be tracking your hours. Okay, cool. But I do want to just kind of steer the questions more around the curriculum content and performance. Okay. Okay, cool. So when it comes to the dashboard, we are working on a dashboard for it to be visible for all of you. Um, so with the first few projects that you'll started off with in this year, um, with the first few projects you started in this year, we know that there were a few difficulties with the curriculum being new, with the content being new, with stipend issues as well. So we did push out the deadline for some of the projects, which we will keep in a tighter communication with you about. But we don't want you to stress too much about the first few projects that you did. It is new, but going forth from January going forward, we will be a bit more stern about attendance, submission dates, when you complete your work. We do understand that things have been a bit tricky over the past few months, but we're going to need everyone to just focus on the work that needs to be done. And as Herman said, once you get a project, we would highly recommend that you try and submit this project as early as possible rather than waiting until last minute. Once you'll start pushing until a date submission or a submission day, that's when your marks are also very likely to change. Okay, cool. What happens if we didn't get any stipend and can't come to campus regularly? Please email campus team and please let them know. Okay, cool. I just, so could you, or someone on the call, could you please just confirm the open Friday for when we close and open for cohort 2024. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. We'll come back to questions. But there was a few other things I wanted to touch on. Okay, cool. So you also recently did your first assessment. So well done to everyone. We went through the marks as well. So well done to all of them. There's just a few things that we need to touch on with y'all. So I think the biggest thing when it comes to the assessment is reading. I believe not many people read the instructions when the assessment was released. We told you to fork the repo. There were quite a few students who haven't forked the repos. We can also tell that there's a lot of students that haven't read the README because that's where most of the instructions are, or a lot of the instructions for the test, and it seems like a lot of it was missed. So the reason we also wanted to have this call is because for future projects, we would really like you to read the instructions properly. And for future assessments, we would like you to submit the assessment without any faults on the assessment itself. So going forward, we are going to have more. And I believe the next set date for your assessment, which we will communicate with you, is going to be next week, Friday. Correct, Fusang Lee? I believe it's going to be next week, Friday. And so we're just going to need you to please read the instructions very carefully. It's going to be somewhat similar to one that you did recently, but we just need you to read the instructions carefully. We are going to eventually start using the assessment results as well, just to track you, to see how you're doing, to see what you're struggling with. But we're going to just need you to read the instructions carefully. Okay. And around the assessments as well, we will be going forward with tutorials and workshops for you. So it'll be focused around the content that you've been doing for those couple of weeks, or the content around the assessment itself. But we'll be having tutorials with them or with you, and we'll be having workshops that correlate to the content as well. So my ask is attendance. Please be on campus. Please be present on campus. When we send you the assessment instructions or any instructions, please read it very carefully and thoroughly, instead of just diving straight into it. And then the last thing I wanted to bring up is we sent outcomes to you yesterday about journaling. So going forward, I'm starting with the projects that were released this week. We would really like you to start getting into a habit of journaling your projects or what you've learned, what is a new trick you've maybe learned, or just new content that you think would be relevant for your studies. We want you to keep a journal of the projects that you're working on, and we want you to do that going forward. Your mentors are going to be checking your journals as well, just to see if you have it present, if you're doing it regularly. So we'd like you to do it quite regularly for all your projects, or group of projects. You can use GitLab Wiki, you can use Google Docs, Notepad. There's quite a few different things that we've offered to you that you can use. But we'd like you to really just take the responsibility of making sure you journal your work. SP team, I don't know if there's anything else. I think those are the things that I wanted to touch on, but I think we can move back to some questions because the session isn't meant to be an hour long, so we can probably end it soon. Okay, cool. The question, there was a question about a dashboard. We will have a dashboard for you soon. Okay, cool. Okay, for now, we'll just confirm the dates with you and with campus team. This is about when we close for the year and when we open. We will most probably close on the 13th of December, okay? And we will probably open on the 6th of Jan, okay? So we will confirm this with you. We'll send comms to you, or it'll come from campus team or the school itself. And those are the projected dates. Okay, cool. Why is the curriculum so different from the one in our calendar? Hamza, I'm not sure I understand the question.
I could jump in and answer.
Awesome.
So I have been changing some of the projects in response to what I'm seeing with the cohort. So I'm always talking to people about what they understand and don't understand or what they'd like covered more. So I've been shuffling some of the projects around. And because of that, the one that you see on Google Calendar might not correlate exactly with what you see in the communications and on the curriculum website. So I'm working on uh, solidifying the curriculum outline for the rest of the module now, and hopefully in future these will be exactly the same.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Finn. I think there's another question here that you might be able to answer. We've got a total of 6 projects currently. Are all of them due on Friday? I believe that this one week is, so I believe the 3 projects that you received this week are due this week, and project that you had last week, I believe, should be due this Friday as well. Yeah, I think that's great. Okay, cool. Is the sponsorship issue going to be resolved soon? So I know the partnerships team is working quite diligently on it, and it's something that's just a continuing process for them. So it's slowly being resolved, yes. Is it possible that we can get assessments at least twice a month? Okay, so let me outline this for y'all quickly, or I'll just speak y'all through it. So y'all are going to have your next assessment on the 29th of November, okay? And then you are going to have another one, your end of year assessment, around the week of the 13th, the week you end, you'll most probably have an assessment. So before we close off for the year, there will be another 2 assessments that's going to come your way. Okay. And once we open next year, there's going to be another 2 assessments, and that you'll have a total of 5 assessments for your semester, which is likely how it's going to be for every semester. Okay. Are we going to get more content notes? Finn, I don't know if you'd like to answer that one.
Yeah, so I didn't cover every single feature of Python in that Python tutorial that I gave you folks at the beginning of your fundamentals module. It would have been a bit overwhelming, I think. So instead, we covered some of the most essential features. And in this week's project, I'm touching on some new things like the classes and objects that you'll see in Python. Um, I included some description of that so that you could get like a surface level overview, but I didn't go into all of the details. And this is because you need to get used to doing this kind of research. The Python language reference, which I did link at the beginning of the content, has a much more thorough overview of exactly how everything works. And I'd really prefer if you researched from a resource like that than if I covered everything in the curriculum itself, because this type of curriculum isn't going to be available to you throughout your career, but the internet will be. And a very important part of the skills that you need to learn at Rethink Code are sort of independent research skills, the ability to learn a language without necessarily having it spoon fed to you. So um, I won't be covering every single feature of Python in the content notes. But I did mention in the chat, I'm very nerdy about Python and I'm always happy to rant about it. So if you've got questions, I encourage you to put them in Matrix. Your peers might have the answer for you. I might have the answer for you. You don't know if you're just expecting everything to be in the curriculum content for you. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Finn. Okay, cool. Yeah, I see y'all are talking about the content of the projects that y'all are currently working on related to the curriculum calendar. We will update it for you so that it just reflects a bit more accurately. Okay, thank you. Um, Yeah, we will update it for you. I see that's popping up a bit here as well, so we'll update it for you. It's just all been a bit new. It's just been a bit new, but we will populate it for you. Is it possible to fail semester one, as in you have to repeat semester one and you don't move to semester two at all? I want to say that you must put in a lot of effort to actually fail. It's usually not that easy to just fail a semester, but it takes effort to fail. So just if you just keep doing your projects and work regularly and your assessments, you'll be all okay. You do have the 3Ps document as well. So if there's anything about any of the semesters that you just want to read about, you can just check it out over there, okay? How are we supposed to finish all the topics in Python features where we can't access all of them? I think you're going to have to be a bit more specific, please. What do you not have access to? What do you need to help complete your projects? Okay, can this video be watched later? Yes, it will be recorded and you will be able to find it on YouTube. I only saw 3 projects on the curriculum. Were there more projects added? I believe it's currently 3 projects, yes. And all projects are due by the 22nd, which is Friday. Okay, we still don't have access to their projects, and it kind of makes it hard to help them when they have issues and are not aware of exactly what they're doing. Oh, okay, this window. Thank you. Okay, Eliza will speak about that in our call later on. Thank you. 6 projects. Okay. Okay, cool. I don't know if there's any other topics, but that's what we kind of wanted to cap it at. So from a curriculum and performance side, please keep doing your work. Please avoid using ChatGPT and other LLMs. Please communicate with the performance team and your mentors for anything that you need, or if you get stuck with work. Furthermore, there will be upcoming assessments and tutorials that you all have to do. It is going to be something that will be determining your marks for the first semester and the other semesters as well. And all we ask is please finish the year on a strong note. But that's about it in summary. Herman, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to close off with.
No, not specifically. Remember, just one thing to touch what Corbin said. Finishing on a strong note is for you. It's ultimately to your benefit. That's all. Yeah, and enjoy it. Try to have fun in between, people. Coding should be fun.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. I believe if you have any other queries, you can just email performance. If you have any stipend issues, please email campus team, or any attendance issues, it goes to campus team. Remember, all your academic queries go to curriculum and performance. Any campus related transportation, Wi-Fi, different kind of issues go to campus team. Campus team is like the house. So yeah, please, any academic queries, please share with performance, okay? But all right, I think this is a lovely chat, and I just hope everyone's on the same page or a stronger page. And yeah, let's just end on a strong note, and good luck and have fun. Fantastic. I think we can close off here. Okay, thank you everyone, and have a lovely day.